this is video 4. And in the last video, I was finishing up saying that my brother had blamed himself for the way that my life had turned out, and I hadn't mentioned that most of our adult life we were estranged from each other, that he had gone off with his second wife. I'll leave the name out because I'm not going to say the name, okay, because this person ended up being the Wicked Witch of the West. This person ended up proving to be a heavy betrayal, for me at least. Okay, so like I said, judgments casted. Okay, until now, I had totally forgotten too, as in my 20s, that me and his second wife, before they were married, had actually gone to a physical altercation weeks after my brother was released from the hospital after the accident. So he had met her prior to the accident, okay? Fun fact, she had shared with me that the first time that they met, they sat on a bench and they talked all night, right? And there was a praying mantis, okay? Just hold on, wait for it. A praying mantis on the bench. When they went in for the night or went their separate ways, she comes out to a dead praying mantis. Now she still has that praying mantis. And thinking about it now, it's like I looked it up spiritually when I started to have my suspicions, or when I started to wake up to some things that just didn't add up, with her. The praying mantises are not all that cool, okay? If I'm going to be looking at it in from my brother's point of view, or from female to man, because what do? What do the female praying mantises do? If you don't know, let me tell you, they rip the motherfucking heads off of their partner after they are done screwing. And in the native culture, it is pretty much like represents getting your blessings, like she's native, like your money, like back from whatever they say. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too far into that, okay? But anyways, all right. So never did I get along or talk to the lady, okay? Or my brother, estranged. Me, I lived a totally completely different life. My brother, he might have, dipped and used here and there. And he had a little bit of alcohol problem, and he pops a lot of pills because of his back, But my brother and me, totally different people. He was able to get high and stop, Me, not so much. Stayed in Sacramento in the same fucking slums, in the same fucking areas, in the same fucking people with the same fucking shit going on around in the same fucking loop. Loop-de-loo, loop-de-loo, loop-de-loo. While the whole time my brother was actually, sleeping with a fucking enemy, or one that became one, that is actually not what we thought. And I'm going to say that with confidence because I believe in my visions, and I believe in the words that I get from my past several loved ones. And I also believe in the physical evidence that I have found that's connected her to certain things that don't add up, okay? And mind you, this woman married my brother, yes, 21 years, and I was all for her and behind her on this until the psychic attacks on my psyche and all the shit just stopped working due to I couldn't tell you, but maybe due to the baptism of the Holy Spirit. I don't know, because I've always believed in God. Okay, anyways, I got too far off on that. Okay, so me and my brother, totally different people, right? And like I said, he stayed away from me most of my adult life, and when we did have contact, me and him, we did fight. Okay, but when I found out that he had blamed himself for the way that I turned out, it kind of made sense that it was hard for him to be around me or see me. My brother was the only one in the family that could tell if I was using him just by talking to me on the phone, okay? Maybe my mom could too, but she never said that. I avoided it just as much as he did, okay, from the judgments, okay, and so the lady never liked me anyways. She's never liked any of the Muslimans. It's a fucking fact. I mean, there's no way around it, okay. Projections, bullshit, talking shit, gossiping about my dad, about the Muslimans, and she shared the same feelings against my father as my brother did. And you know what, they're that's not the way that you process feelings. Now that I've grown and I've fucking matured and my third eye is awake, wide open, I'm seeing this woman for everything that she was. Okay. Um, poison, poison, poison. I'm pretty sure that I'm here to break this curse and separate these two bloodlines into I'm pretty sure I pacify in colors. Okay. All right, because I have not acted out in a way that I want to, and I'm so glad that God. You see, now I know. It just another light bulb. I'm so glad that God knew to only give me a little at a time, because in the moment when I was experiencing this stuff with the house and my uncle and literally life insurance policies and hits out on me and having handler, you know. Listen, I was going through all that. What if I would have found out this lady was practicing dark magic and death magic on my brother because he left her, and on me just because we fought, and my dad just because she thought he was a piece of shit father, and on my aunt Idris that can't even walk or talk now because she fucked with my brother. Like, everything's starting to make sense, right? Oh God! So I'm just saying, and it's worked, right? It's worked, okay? Because I've been fucking scatterbrained, fucked off, not knowing my head, my ass from the whole leg around, not having anybody around me. I'm just saying that as I learned about magic and these things that I learned this last term, put that with some dreams that my brother did show me and some words that I remember coming out of her mouth. Like, okay, it's all making sense for me. All right, but okay, so boom, judgmental. Okay, I told you about the experience on the track. Okay, all right, okay. Now, fast forward a little. I had been talking to a person that I used to date that I knew for a fact that loved me, had his shit together, and I thought he was, a good choice for me. Like, it was going to be a healthy decision, and I did love him, but come find out that he was cheating on me or having a girl living with him and doing these things that keeping things from me that I might not have known all the way, but my on a soul level and in that little area of that gift, I did know something was wrong. And when I came home, that's who I found was this girl. His supposedly sister was not. It was not the case. Okay, and anyways, we got pregnant, and you know, I couldn't prove the story of that not being just a friend, and she left, a few days after I got out. But I saw it for what it was, and she was still smoking dope in the bathroom. I could hear her fucking torch. I'm like, bitch, you're disrespectful. We're clean. And she was mooching off my fucking husband, and he was tricking like fucking, like a trick. So he was tricking, and she was taking full advantage of that, and I was like, absolutely not having that. So I told her to, kick rocks. But later on to find out that I had contracted an STD and he had contracted it through her. And that's when the truth came out, and I was about 4 months pregnant. And that's when I took off and drove up to Kim and Tom's because they embraced me at my parole and we stayed in contact. And so I drove up there and I stayed up there to see what I wanted to do about it. And when I left back to Sacramento, I had made a decision that I was going to leave and go into a program called Acres of Hope. Okay. And I babbled on that one. So that'll be the end of this one. And I'm going to go ahead and take one more before I go to bed. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And if you'd like to know more about my life, like, follow, and share, okay? It's super interesting.